guys? It's your boy Darius with Let's Argy Bargy. I got my boy AJ here with me again, and like I told you guys a few days ago with the update, I'm going to start doing Manga Mondays on Fiction Fridays. I want it to be a little unique. I don't want my videos getting drowned out in the other Manga Mondays, you know. I'm an upcoming YouTuber, but today we're going to be discussing the manga by, I don't know how to say his name. I want to say it's Matsuenya, but that's Spanish and he's Japanese. And I think his first name is Seon. But anyway, he has a new manga out. It's called Kimi 008. He's the same author and creator of History's Strongest Disciple, Kenichi, and we're going to tackle that today. I don't remember what I was going to say.
Oh, no!
Like, as soon as she said one, it was gone. I was
waiting on you.
I was honestly, that's why I kind of like rubbed my finger. I was like, I hope he'll take over from this. I don't even know the first word I'll say. So, Kimi wa 008, not assassins, agents. I keep wanting to call them
not assassins, not spies, agents.
It might be a little bit of a spy.
They specifically say not spies.
Totally not spy. So, Kimi wa 008, agents. That's pretty much all I can say about it. It has the same feel of History's Strongest Disciple, Kenichi, where we start with a greenhorn, day one scrub, probably ain't never punched anyone in his life. All of a sudden, he's trying, because like I guess in Japan they have this thing where you have to apply to a high school. Mm-hmm. Like here in America, it's just like, well, if you're in the district, you just go here. Unless it's like a private or like a charter school where you kind of like, you gotta have like a certain income or you gotta be like accepted based on grades or like athletics or whatever or like artistic abilities. But in Japan, it's just like, okay, I want to apply to this school because I guess this school will give you certain, I don't know, qualifications or it looks good on like a resume for colleges and stuff like that. Yeah. So he's applying to dozens and dozens of college or high schools. And no one is like responding back. And he's just like, damn, am I a big dummy? Like, what happened? And I didn't think my grades were that bad. You know, his mom and his sisters are all supportive. Just like, you know, it's fine, it's cool. And then one day he gets an application letter, cliches, I don't know what. But he goes to the school, doesn't know what's going on. There's this huge wall and there's this girl in the way. And he's just like, I mean, I guess this is the only place I can go, so I'll give it a shot. Turns out it's a school for agents, and the principal had actually kind of like blackballed him from all other high schools, so that he could only get into this like as a last resort, make him more willing to come. But his dad ended up being an agent at one point in his life, and he never knew, and that's how he got that recommendation. But outside of that, it's a pretty standard like introductory into the story. Not unique by any means, but I don't even think we can have unique anymore. There's so many stories out there in the world. But I mean, I'm fine with it. It's cool, I guess. We had to get started one way or another. And I guess we're seeing him because he was reluctant at first to be an agent. You know, it's obviously scary and dangerous and, you know, life-threatening. And I don't think it was because of the girl that he wanted to do it.
So, if I wanted to...
Wait, didn't he want to get, like, closer to his dad or something?
So, yeah. So, the difference between this one and I feel like we're going to get into a lot of comparing things to other things when we do this is... but the difference between that and Kenichi is that in Kenichi... Kenichi he actively wants to get stronger.
Yeah, he was
like from Jump Street. From Jump Street. He's like, yo, I'm weak. I'm getting bodied all the time. I want to get stronger. Like, that's what he wanted.
I respected that more than I do in this one, though.
In this one, his goal was to be like, I want to get into a good high school. And then he applied, like you said, and he got into the agent one because, like you said, the principal basically manipulated everything to where he was going to get there. But remember, what actually happens is that he refuses the offer.
True, but he can't tell his mom.
Right. He was scared that something bad was going to happen. And then I believe what actually happens is all the schools that he did apply to accepted.
Oh yeah, so it wasn't that he like necessarily blackballed him. He kind of just stole the acceptance letters.
They all just came rushing in, and his family was super happy. But then, like, he was in his room. He was like, "Man, now I know something I'm not really supposed to know." Like, I guess curiosity got the better of him.
Yeah, so I think it's more of a unlike Kenichi, it's like, yo, I want to be strong because I just want to be strong. It's more just like, let me see if I can actually do this.
Right.
Because I mean, if all these things just lined up and it fell into my lap, you know, I've learned the world about, you know, agents. Found out that my dad was an agent. My family has no idea about it. And, you know, the principal's just like, I mean, you could, you know what I'm saying, punk out, go home, be a little puss, whatever. Or you can be an agent like your dad. Your dad was great. And he was just like, nah, I don't want that. And then he sat on it. It's just like, man, let me see if I can do it. But, like, there's no backing out of it at this point.
Because as soon as the principal tells him, hey, your dad told me, you know, to help you out, you know, when he died. And so that, I guess, just like, was like interesting. He's like, yo, for one, you know my dad. Two, my dad's an agent.
Yeah.
You know? And so now that curiosity where he's like, I need to know what my dad was getting into. And so that was like his motivation after like, well, I think it was like chapter 3.
Wait, wasn't his dad like assassinated or something?
No. Remember, they say like something happened. He was in top secret mission. Something happened, but it was classified.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So like the principal said it was classified. The teacher said, "Hey, if you want to know, become an agent." Basically, like you can find out if you become an agent. So now we have our goal, and
but that goal is that even a? Well, I guess that's more of a concrete goal. So like, I just want to be the best agent. Just like I want to know what happened to my dad.
Right. So and that's his goal. He wants to know what happened to his dad, and the way he gets that is by becoming an agent. And like he doesn't have, as far as we know right now, he doesn't have any special skills or talents. He has that shonen protagonist tenacity.
Yeah, that's never say die kind of thing.
You know, like we
protect all friends, even if you just met.
Like all the people we've met so far, and I'm sorry I don't remember any names, but like the main heroine.
Kaido? K-I-D-O?
Kaido, yeah.
Kaido, okay, that's
so
her.
She is she's our Miu from Kenichi.
That's her name. Oh, snap.
Yeah. She's our all-around, like, she's good at, like, everything kind of girl.
Yeah, someone who had already been an agent prior.
Right.
But I don't know what... Oh, that's another thing. So this is, unlike Kenichi, it's in a school life setting, which, I mean, I guess Kenichi kind of was, but it was more like a one-on-one, like, tutor type stuff.
Right. He was in a school, but it was, like, one student or two students, rather, many teachers. Where this one is, like, many students. We'll probably end up caring more about our students than we do our teachers. But that's only because the focus is on this.
Yeah, because, I mean, Kenichi, we've learned everything about him in the beginning, so we're learning more of the teachers and their past. Like, what was that guy's name? Appa? No. That's Appa.
What?
The guy
Muay Thai? Apachai.
Yes! You fucking laughed at me? Like,
I did.
What? Apachai. I was close. And then Miyu's dad, who is God.
No, that was Miyu's granddad.
Who is God. I don't remember what happened to her actual dad. Yeah, so it was more like a, you know, Kenichi is entering into that world instead of, you know, that world kind of entering Kenichi. But I do kind of like the school life setting of it. It feels more grounded, you know. It's just like, yo, instead of you just like, man, we're going to throw you out in the world and just figure out how to be an agent, it's kind of just like, because like in Naruto, I kind of wished just a little bit we were in school longer. Because like once they got on that first mission, like after like I don't even think they passed any exams at that point. Like that first exam to become a Genin. And then like once we got on that first mission, that was it for the rest of it. We're just learning as we go.
So my issue that I have with this manga in particular is that it's one of those things where it's kind of like the tuning exams in Naruto, where it's just like you have your core team, but it's kind of like fuck all the other teams. If they fail, fuck them. Like that's on them. We don't have to go save them or anything like that. In this manga, like they even say they're like, yo, this isn't one of those like y'all can't help each other things. It's like we want all of you to be agents. We honestly want everyone to be agents.
True.
Like
exactly. Because if you didn't pass like that first thing, you're dead.
Right. But the way all the people are acting in this, like with the exception of there's another guy who's like basically as incompetent as the main character.
Oh.
But, he's like,
what's his name?
I don't know, man.
I can't remember. I feel like it starts with an H.
He's like a really nerdy guy. Like,
yeah, I really kind of want to know why he's here.
Well, they since I recently read it, that's like it's fresh on my mind. Yeah. He stumbled upon information of it while he was messing around online,
and then he got a letter of recommendation or something.
Right. He started like answering all these questions. He was like getting in their system and stuff like that. So they were just like, that guy.
Yeah. So he's obviously like the hacker.
Right. So he's tech savvy.
Kaido. She's pretty much all around.
Mm-hmm.
She's good in all categories.
There's another guy. He's
good with the sword because that was like
the ninja.
School.
Yeah, the ninja guy who's like from the line of ninjas was like, yo, you know who were the first agents? Ninjas. My family is from a ninja clan. So
which I respect. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like how he became an agent, how his family. That makes sense.
Right.
Like okay, so.
And then you have the rich guy. Well, I call him a rich guy who was
he's like real snobby.
Who was like, checking for mines with that little device, and then when they were eating food, he was like, I gotta check for poison, like.
I mean, he still got in the end.
He didn't get got.
He's not there?
No. Like, he's there, so in that scene.
They all were gonna end up there regardless.
Right, but remember, he said, hey, since I didn't go to sleep, they gave me a waterproof bag, so I could put my dry clothes in it, so they didn't get wet when we came to the shore. They let him go first.
That's right. I did love that. Was a real funny scene. It's like, I wouldn't poison my students, but I will put some sleeping medicine.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
So, and that's another thing. So the teachers aren't there to kill the students, as far as we know so far. Like, none of the teachers are really putting the students at risk, kind of. I mean, they definitely are.
Yeah, no, they're putting them they're giving them like this false sense of like fatality.
Right, like when the walls were coming down, it was smashing the kids.
Even I was just like, I mean, I knew they were going to get out of it. Obviously, the main character's not going to die in the first like 8 chapters, but
right.
I was like, man, maybe they are kind of cutthroat here.
And at first I was thinking like, all right, they threw a kid in the middle of the ocean, and there was like, you're in there. But then you see, he's like, oh, there's an island, I'll go swim out to the island, cool, great. And then you find out later that all the lifeboats were rigged to blow up a little bit.
If you didn't get there in time.
Yeah, so they would blow up, and then you would have to just try to swim for it. So, like, there is like a big risk, but none of the teachers are like, hey,
it's like,
I'm going to kill you.
It's like distant, very distant overseeing. It's just like, look, I'm putting you in pseudo life-threatening situation. Like, these are things you could encounter in the real world, but ultimately, if worse comes to worse,
right? It's definitely.
I'm sure they'll swoop in and save them.
It's definitely,
and they're giving like little cheat codes.
Yeah, it's like it's not Hunter exam. It's not Chunin exam. It's closer to the stuff that's going on in like Assassination Classroom. So it's just like,
they're
guiding you
at the same time.
They're guiding you, but like you can still get hurt, you can still get beat up, you can still get messed up. But it's like they're not going, you're gonna die if you mess this up.
It's kind of like Boku.
Right? Yeah.
It's like we'll heal you in the end.
Right.
Okay.
So it's definitely like more of a teaching thing, but my problem with it is that it feels, I don't know, it feels kind of loose. It doesn't like I was reading the chapters and I was blowing through them. like faster than I normally
Like,
would.
is not enough happening, or too much is happening at once, or
I feel like
you're not connecting enough. Like you're not finding a reason to care.
I feel like it's not clicking with me like very hard, and I feel like not enough is really happening because like everything that is happening is just kind of it's not super exciting, you know, like
so it's like watching a slice of life.
Not even that, because like I can watch a slice of life and be like, you know, and be interested, but like with this it's nothing's jumping out at me, you know. And he's like, there was a time where he goes, a button falls off his jacket, and then the main girl Kaido is like, oh, your button fell off, and she sews it back on. He goes, oh my god, you know, you're so good at sewing, wow, and she's like blushing and shit. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, like, I didn't care about any of that, you know. Or...
My biggest gripe with the show, like, I mean, or not the show, the manga, like, I get what you're saying, like, I feel like I'm on a different side of that same coin. It's more like, I don't have a strong enough reason to care why anything is going on. It's like I'm just watching kids learning how to be agents. Now I'm sure something is going to happen, because the last chapter I read, which he might be a teacher. He also looks like that character from Kenichi with the hat, and he would do spins.
Ma Kensei.
You remember everyone's name from Kenichi, but can't remember
no one from
Kimi. And you just read it. Something major needs to happen for me to be invested.
So, and that's similar to what I was actually going to say. I need some kind of
to push the story
outside force, because from what we have right now, his dad and the history of his dad is like the center of what needs to go on.
It's so mysterious. It's not like One Piece. You're like, oh man, you know what's One Piece that had the world moving.
Right.
It's just like, man, I'm interested in knowing what One Piece is, and it's about the adventure. Here it's just like, yeah, your dad was an agent. Something happened.
Right. So I need something from his dad's past to happen so that it can be like, all right, this is the goal. Like, this is the interest. Like, I need, like...
So you're not interested in the plot. It's like the plot's motivation.
I will be interested when the plot happens.
So there's no plot. There's a plot so loose it's almost non-existent.
Yes.
Okay.
Because like everything, like I'm kind of interested in some of the characters. I'm more interested in the things. So like they did a thing.
Oh, the tie?
Yeah, the tie. They can rip the tie off and they can press a button and it can become a sword. I like that. I think that's cool. I like the fact that their clothes are this material that's better than Kevlar. So like whenever something forceful, you know, gets pushed into it really fast, it all like tightens up.
Yeah, true, but like it's also like really loose. And
right.
stuff.
So if you cut it, it just slices apart. So I like those little. Those are like. I almost said spy things. Those are agent things.
See, like you feel like they're spies. My biggest gripes is that's one of them. The plot hasn't started moving yet to get me like, okay, I want to read more. I want to know what's going to happen next. I want to see the end goes. More like, okay, these guys are in school. Yes, that's fun. I think the reason like I'm so invested in right now is because I have read Kenichi, and I loved how we saw him go from like bottom feeder to like this warlord type dude. I remember when he got his first muscle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a true underdog story to me. Like, this guy was a scrub. It wasn't like a flash forward a couple years later, now I'm ripped, and let's start the story from there. I was like, no, we saw him. He couldn't balance for shit. He was weak. He wasn't fast. He couldn't dodge. He had no techniques. And we saw him slowly and surely, like Siyun, I guess his name, was like literally drawing him thicker. Like, right. As they progressed, and like the story was picking up because it was super loose to begin with, like, and I'm just kind of waiting on that.
Now, that reminded me of something that happened in, I think, chapter 1, where he sees Kaido, the girl, for the first time, and then those two thugs show up, and they're like, yo, hey, baby, you know what you're doing? And then he's like, hey, don't grab her, man. All women are queens. Like, like,
me too.
Yeah, and then they turn around. I was like, what? And he like squares up and he like stepped on the ground and I thought it was like cracking the ground or something. Like I was like, oh, he's finna do something. And then he got mollywopped.
He did.
Like I was like, oh, I thought this was like his thing.
Like that was his thing. It's just like yo, like,
like he's just a brawler or something.
No, he's a puss.
Like so, like that threw me way off because I was expecting to see that again or something like that, like a little farther down the line. But like he even fights somebody kinda in like the latest chapter, like. The guy's like, bust out my sword, I'm fucking get you. And he's like, oh man, I guess you got it, dude. Like he takes the L. Like he gets saved by Kaido. And I don't want this to become a manga where
he's a martyr.
I don't mind like your supporting.
I do mind
like
that,
if I don't mind your supporting characters being stronger than your main character, as long as
the main character is pretty strong.
Like as long as your main character is still interesting, and I want to continue like reading about him or her.
His main driving force, like personality wise, is that he's like, yo, I'm super about like teamwork and friendship, and it's just like, and it's not overbearing, like it's not like in your face all the time, but it's just like, yo, like he has that never say die.
Yeah, and he does. I will say he does think kind of quick on his feet.
Oh yeah, with the twins thing.
Yes, so that part I did think was pretty interesting because I didn't know what he was gonna do. Well, my mind was like, all right, so he's gonna pull out an item and be like, hey, I got this book right here.
No, that threw me for a loop.
I thought he was gonna be like, the twins were like, oh no, that's not my favorite book. This is, and he's like, got him. But what it actually ended up doing was he was listing off things that was in his own bag, and the guy, I guess the imposter was like, nah, man, that's another book. And he goes, but why would you know that?
Right.
And I thought that was interesting. Like for me, that was probably the most interest that I got.
Yeah, he's a quick thinker, and we're gonna see him obviously develop. He's gonna become better because he was not good with that sword in the beginning.
Not at all.
Nah, he was big trash. I think my last gripe is the etchiness. That now, when I was younger and I first started watching Kenichi, I was like a little tweet. Like I was like, oh man, I ain't seen no boobies in real life yet. You know what I'm saying? Them things wasn't hidden like it was for me. Or I mean, it's not hidden for me now like it was then. Like right. I'm grown now.
I think
he toned it down a lot.
Not overbearing
like he used to.
So in Kenichi, it was just like in my face all the time. But in this one, it's just like it's not. We don't really see anything besides from Kaido.
Kaido's the one you'll see the most, but she is there to keep young boys interested. Like I understand the formula,
but it's not. At least right now, from the first 8 chapters that's out.
I think it's
11. Not. It's not overbearing.
Yeah,
like,
I'm fine with
when I see it, I'm just like, all right. But I'm hoping it doesn't get to the point where it gets overbearing because I'm probably gonna read it, for maybe 10 more chapters.
6 to 6 up.
Yeah.
No, I'm enjoying it. It's just I'm waiting for something to happen.
Exactly.
And nothing has happened quite yet. I already have these high expectations because of his previous work, so I'm kind of getting let down a little bit because it's just like it's like having to read Boruto. Like I spent 15 years reading and watching Naruto, and then it's just like Boruto, which I know, especially from the opening scenes, the first chapter, we know some really good shit's gonna happen. But it's just like I gotta start over and I gotta watch the development. It's kind of just like, okay, I gotta just fix it in my mind. It's just like, look, this is not Kenichi.
That's the problem. If they would have done, a shorter adaptation or something like that, doing a thing where you show the last event in an anime or a manga at the very beginning, in my opinion, only works if the adaptation is shorter. Because if you go, this crazy thing's gonna happen, and you're gonna see it in 250 chapters,
right? Don't do that.
I don't care.
Don't do that. Like if you have this, because that was an eye catcher,
right?
Like that was like, oh snap, Boruto's an adult. City's destroyed. We're assuming that Naruto and Sasuke are dead because they would have to be dead.
That was the clickbait.
Exactly, and then it's just like, all right, cool. So when is that going to happen? It's just like, Mm-hmm.
And honestly, there's even clickbait in this manga in particular. So some of the 8 or 11 chapters, I don't know how many I read, of Kimi wa 008 that I read, the majority of the front page of the chapters are all Kaido, and then some of them are our main guy. And what gave me hope is that one of them had the main guy like with a sword out. He's got it drawn, and it's got like the 007 view where it's like you're looking down the barrel of the gun, and he's got the sword drawn. I was like, all right, he's gonna do something, and then he didn't do anything. And I was like, you got me, like, you know. So hopefully, like you said, it picks up. More things happen that will keep me interested instead of me just like, all right, cool.
True,
just, like,
true. So unlike last week when we had discussed Eden Zero, and we obviously had high expectations for it because we done been through two long bodies of work, and it gets going quickly. But like with Kenichi, it was a slow burn. Like it took a long time to build up. So it's just like if it's gonna be like that, I might get turned off a little early in it. But outside of that, I'm pretty confident that it'll probably be good. I know something's going to happen fairly soon because, something has to. Readers are going to get turned off as well. The edginess has been toned down quite a lot, so that's a plus for me. Probably not any other young boys that ain't seen any boobies yet, But obviously you got to have fan service to get people tuned in anyway. That's why the front cover is like Kaido almost naked.
Right. But for me, had you not showed it to me, I probably would have jumped over this.
Really, you would have never
I probably would have been like, all right, that's cool.
I had seen because I had looked at the cover. I was just like, man, that kind of looks like that girl from Kenichi. So I clicked on it. I was just like, man, he looks like Kenichi. And then that was before I even knew they were by the same person because he's using the same templates.
Yo, this is Kenichi.
This is Kenichi too.
So like, I would have definitely been like, yeah, all right, and I would have kept it pushing. But now you brought.
Now
it
you're
up,
in
so,
it. I brought you in.
Yeah,
I corrupted you.
So yeah, I'm ashamed of who I was now. So I gotta read it for another 10 chapters just to see if it gets good. Same thing with Eden Zero. I'm just.
But Eden Zero's already picked up.
I just gotta keep up with it to make I don't know what it is. If I don't keep reading it, I feel like I'm personally not making sure it'll get good. I don't know why I feel that way.
So your viewership is confirming that this is good. If I don't read it anymore, this is dead in the water.
My opinions and the fact that I'm reading this material is so powerful.
You are affecting the creator.
I'm affecting it.
You are a creator of creators.
I've done it.
Well, that's all I can come up with for now. We gotta wait and see, obviously. Like anything, see if it picks up, see if, Kenichi number 2, Ito, develops anymore, which I'm sure he will because this is our underdog story. Right. If you guys have anything else to add, please let me know in the comment section down below. If there's any mangas that you want me to discuss, or me and AJ to discuss, well, obviously because this is our thing now, let me know in the comment section down below as well. And please subscribe. Thanks, you guys.